Assalamu alaikum and welcome. This is Aisha Al Hajar, and this is our Amani Changed My Life series. And I'm just waiting for my special guest. She'll be coming in any moment now from Malaysia. So I'll wait till she comes in to introduce her. And while I'm waiting, I want to remind you that you can sign up for the free book that's coming out soon, free Secrets from the Labor Room. So you can sign up for that book. There's the link below me down here. You can just follow that link and you can sign up for that free book. And I believe Najwa's here with me now. Let me see if I can bring her into the stream. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? I don't see you.
Just a minute.
Okay, no problem. I can hear you. I don't see you, but I can hear you. When you come on, make sure we're live. So make sure you come on ready to go.
I'm doing these gadget things.
And it was very early there, mashallah. Thank you so much for joining. You're live and running. I'm coming to you from Saudi Arabia, and she's coming from Malaysia, alhamdulillah. Let me know when you're ready.
Bismillah.
It's okay. At this time of day, everyone's sleeping anyway, so I hope you have a coffee. All right. I think you're muted, so I can see you now, but I can't hear you. Be sure to unmute. It says that your mic is not connected. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you now. Yay, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam, alhamdulillah.
All right, so I'm going to do a restart here. This is Aisha Al Hajar and coming to you live on the Amani Changed My Life series. I have Amir Najwa with me, coming to us from Malaysia. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, it's a very early morning, so.
Yes. You picked the time, though. You picked the time.
I know.
Alhamdulillah. Well, I'm really happy to have you. We go way back. I've known you for a real long time. So I would like to ask you, to start out, I just want to ask you, how did you first come to know about Amani Birth? I mean, you were in the second, well, you actually managed the second workshop that we ever did with Amani Birth back in November of 2012. Was it the second or the third? No, you were the third. Yours was the third workshop. We did Riyadh, Jakarta, and then Kuala Lumpur. So you were my first introduction to Kuala Lumpur. So how did you even come to know about Amani Birth?
So I was thinking about it. I think most likely I found Amani through Nadine.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Nadine, because I actually in 2010 when I met her in the hypnobirthing training. Okay. After my hypnobirthing training, she's very active until today. So I think she connected me to you, and she said, "Look, this is very exciting. Here's a Muslim sister with a module," and I was so excited. So it was Nadine.
Mashallah, mashallah. Yeah, I love her very much. I don't think that she's still with Amani Birth, but she was for many years. We miss her in the Amani family. So if you still speak to her, please pass our regards over to her. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and yeah, we can reminisce. There's a lot of people from that first workshop. I think that was a rather large workshop.
Yes,
so there were
I think
something sisters in that workshop, I believe.
Was that?
I think there was over 20 something sisters in that workshop, mashallah.
Yes, I think if I'm not mistaken, we had 28.
Mashallah, mashallah. Yeah, I remember it was really large. It was really a lovely group. It was a warm welcome to Malaysia, mashallah. So
Uh-huh.
you found out about me through another sister. And
Yes.
what would you say is your relationship to Amani Birth today?
Well, it's I feel I don't know how else to say it, but I don't usually, like, sometimes when people realize that I organized the first one, right? And they like to say, like, oh, here's the here's the what's the word you say it, like, here she is, here's the person who
Here's,
brought
here's
it.
the reason, here's the foundation, right?
No, actually, they use this very funny word, like, here, she did it, like.
It's her fault.
Yeah, it's her fault.
I got
So,
you.
like,
I got you.
yeah, I would say I'm the person who, it's what's that funny statement you guys use? I did it, or something like that. But basically, like, yes, I am the person who organized the first Amani Birth training in 2012. Sorry, I mean the first local one, the first
Yeah.
Malaysian
Well,
one.
that was the first year we
Mhm.
started, so it was pretty close to the first one, frankly.
Ah,
It was only the third workshop that we ever did, and we're doing like our 145th or something now. So,
I
it's been a long
see. I
time since then,
see.
but that was one of the very first ones. So I have very vivid memories, of course, of that particular workshop, mashallah. And
Uh-huh.
at this point, you're also handling the stock of the Amani Birth book in Malaysia. You have those with you, and you're helping
Yes.
to share those, and we appreciate your support with that, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the thing that influenced you to engage with the mind birth? Because you mentioned you'd already taken hypnobirthing, and hypnobirthing, for those who don't know, is one of our competitors. And Amani Birth, we have nothing to say, in one way or another about our competitors. Each one of them has their niche. Ours being very
Mm-hmm.
Islamic faith focused and evidence based. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you had already taken a childbirth training. So what was it that influenced you to engage with Amani Birth?
Okay, so I feel that what engaged me to with Amani Birth is actually, like, it was more like when Nadine introduced me. She said, "Here's a sister, and she has a module." I was already in search of an alternative,
Okay.
because I'll just be honest. When I took the hypnobirthing training, like, I believe that to each person
Yeah, of course.
uh, their own point of view. So I'm not saying anything that it's bad or something. It's just that personally I did not feel comfortable with it, but I could not put my finger on it. What was it that I was not comfortable with hypnobirthing?
Okay.
So in I'm not sure when I read this, but this is this is the Malay version. Wait, where's my camera?
Yeah, I know
Oh,
it's
here it is.
backwards. This is mirror version, I know.
This book, this kitab, is
Okay.
originally in Arabic.
Okay.
It's written by Imam or Sheikh Abdul Majid Azindani. He's from Yemen.
Okay.
Right. So I was not reading about birth at all. So I was reading this kitab, and it is on Tawheed. So there was a chapter in it. Let me see. So, okay, there's a chapter in it. It's the 13th chapter. Is the and it's in Malay, so I'll try to translate it
Right.
so it's basically it's talking about doubt.
Okay.
Doubt. So let me see, page 399. So the format is basically question and answer. Sorry. Right. Question by the audience, and then answer by the share. So I was reading, not related to birth. So I was just reading, and then the question here is basically, what is believed by the kafir of today about their creator? So this is translation upon translation. Okay,
Right.
so it says what is believed by the kafir about their creator. So just to be clear, I mean my own point of view, not really. I wouldn't say uh, a bookish. What do you call this? A bookish meaning to it, but I wouldn't translate kafir as non-Muslim, really. Like kafir is like this whole definition on its own. So anyway, so it says here, the question is, what is believed by the kafir, or like the bookish translation is like a person who rejects Allah and what is brought by the messengers. So what is believed by the kafir today about their creator? The answer by the sheikh is, the kafir today believes that their creator is a new idol called nature.
SubhanAllah. Right.
So, and then the second question is, so what is nature in here? So it says that nature is a creation of Allah. It has characteristics such as the sun, the moon, the stars, trees, and so on and so forth. So when I read this, because by the time that I had taken hypnobirthing, I had been involved with birth advocacy work in Malaysia for about, I don't know, perhaps a year, because Nadine invited me to be in the community here, which is called the Gentle Birthing Group Malaysia. So I'm not saying that what is advocated is purely hypnobirthing, and I'm not saying that hypnobirthing is all this that the Sheikh described. It's just that the whole package of gentle birthing that I get online was always using the word universe and nature and and such as getting energy from the sun and the moon and the universe. So I was very not comfortable with that, because to me I would appreciate the use of the word God, even if they would say gods. Like I'm not saying that I'm totally comfortable when they use gods, but at least the mention of a supreme higher being, of such mention. But then there was no such mention, and the words were always universe, nature, and of the sort. So so the other thing that I felt really pulled me towards Amani is I was always watching this podcast, or whatever you call it, the Dean Show by Brother Eddie, and he always, brother, so he always put an emphasis on the correct and secure akida, like like this clear cut belief on in divinity as being separate, a creator, and what is the creator and what's the creation. So I would say, like, when I contacted you and you explained to me about those 20 things, I can't clearly remember what they are, but I just remember
it starts out with Allah is the creator of all things. Yes.
So those.
Yeah, I have that right here. Actually, I can pull it out.
Is it in the teachers? Is it in the student?
That's the paradigm. It's the Amani birth paradigm you're referring to, and it says Allah. Number one is Allah is in control of all things. Yeah, it's the Amani birth paradigm. Allah is in control of all things. Birth is a natural life event. Birth is inherently safe, and it goes through trust in birth is trust in Allah. It says, thanking Allah for the birth experience, trust in Allah's plan for our birth and our lives. Yeah, so there's a lot of mention of Allah in that paradigm for sure.
So, so yes, so it's called the Amani birth paradigm, right?
Yes.
So that actually, to me, I mean, to me, like, I'm not saying this like,
I know
uh,
you're not saying it to say anything bad about any other organization, and obviously there's good intentions in other organizations. And I always say Amani has nothing bad to say about any other organization. We all have our niche. Amani's niche is very, very evidence based, scientific based, and linked back to our dean. And that's the beauty of the Amani program is you don't have to separate yourself from Allah to be a part of the Amani Birth program. We very much
yes.
embrace Allah is in control of all things. And another thing I want to say is, we want women to prepare for a normal physiologic birth, but we want to be realistic, and that complications do arise. And if you do have a complication, we want them to be wise in accepting medical intervention when it's needed. So, we're looking for a, preparation for normal physiology with the understanding and wisdom to accept intervention if it's necessary, working
Yes.
together with our care providers. So that's really a big part of what Amani Birth is all about. In fact, the core premise of Amani is number 13 of the paradigm. If you have it there, you want to read it for me? Number 13. You have it
Number
in front of
13.
you?
No,
Yeah.
actually, I can't find it.
Oh, you can't find it. It's in. Oh, you know what? I think in your book it's you probably have a separate book, because back in those days it was a separate. The teacher book had a separate packet. It's part of the teacher book now, but it was a separate packet back then. Anyways, number 13, self-advocacy is a right and a responsibility in birth. So, I'm sorry, I read the wrong one. I read 14. 13 is making informed decisions during pregnancy and birth. And that's really what it's all about. We want mothers and families to have enough information to have intelligent conversations with their care providers so that they can make, good decisions in concert with their care provider. Shop around for a care provider you can trust. That's always on Amani's premise. Work with your care providers. Make decisions that are best for you and your baby. With knowledge. You have to have knowledge to make informed decisions. So, mashallah, that's amazing. Alhamdulillah. And you really sat the workshop. You sat in the workshop at least twice, if I remember correctly, right?
That's true. That's true.
Was it 2 or 3 times? I can't remember now.
2 times.
2, mashallah. And a lot of people resit the workshop more than once, and we would love to have you come back and sit again, actually. So we would love to see you come through again. It's been a while. It's been a while, and you're very near and dear to us. So I want to ask you, the title of the series, Amani Birth Changed My Life, right? So right up there behind that, right? Amani Birth Changed My Life. So tell me, how do you think Amani Birth has affected your life?
How has it has affected my life positively? Well, the mashallah, the thing about and I know I know you and we have been through this conversation and topic over and over again. The issue about Amani Birth in Malaysia is not about Amani Birth, actually.
I know.
So I would like to take the opportunity, like to answer your question, like it has affected me. I feel, mashallah, it has affected me positively, but the thing is that it's not directly Amani Birth. It's
right.
It's the, how do you say, the attention or the misattention that happened on Amani Birth in 2013, I believe. Because I'm not sure. Oh yeah, here it is. So, mashallah, I didn't plan for it to be here. Okay, so let me see if I can show that. Okay, so here, Kelahiran Indah Cara Amani. So this is actually a magazine, a local magazine in Malay, that featured Amani. Let me see, what's the year here? The year must be 2012 or 2013.
It had to have been 13 because I came in November of 2012. There wasn't much time left in 2012.
Yes. So this magazine is in. Oh yes, this is actually a year after Amani came to Malaysia. This is November 13. So see, like a year after Amani came, after the workshop that I organized, it was still so, see, like the words associated to Amani, kelahiran indah. Indah is beautiful.
Okay.
So kelahiran indah cara Amani, and the teachers. Let me see. Oh, here it is. So the teacher here is Hayati.
Yes.
The teacher featured here is Hayati,
Yes.
Hayati Muzaffar. So up to 2000, up to this point, Amani Birth was still positive, had this positive image here. So how has the engagement affected me is that I feel that the attention or the image that Amani has here has forced me to seek ways to be a better Muslim, because the 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 image that has been given to Amani actually makes me like so I get I don't I well, I'll just say it, I get attacked
Oh, I'm
a
sure. I'm
lot.
sure.
I get attacked, especially like sometimes there's cases of whatever, whoever comes out with whatever propaganda. So I get attacked a lot online. So it forces me to like, okay, so I'm getting attacked, so I have to respond in in a good way
Right.
to
Have the
to
higher ground.
yes, I mean it's not about representing Amani at all. It's about like, okay, like usually my response is, have you read the book?
Right.
Usually, like to me is like, have you read the book, or um have you attended a class?
Right.
Am I the first person you are speaking about Amani?
Right.
Have you watched any videos? Because the best thing about Malaysia is we have material from Indonesia,
Right.
which we also understand.
Understand. Right.
So
Very
yeah,
similar
so
languages.
so my response is always like, have you listened to any material from Indonesia, or have you gone to a class? Or that's why, mashallah, that I felt after we printed the book, the Amani Birth book in 2014. So only recently I felt Allah inspired me to do a support group for the book, because since I don't feel comfortable to do talks or a class, because I have to resit the training and everything.
Yeah, it's been a
So
long time.
I felt like, you know what, since I have the book and I'm selling the book, so and everybody, you usually, the most common question that I get when people ask me about Amani Birth is they ask me, is the book in English?
Right.
So I usually tell them, yes, the book is in English, and if they really do not prefer to buy the book, that is with me, I tell them, you know what, you can always contact Dr. Dia,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
because
We have it in
because
Indonesia. In Indonesia. Right?
yes, because it is very common here to read books in Indonesian.
Right.
So yeah, so I always tell them, like, like it's just it's just next door. If you want to
Right.
if you want to read Amani book, Amani Birth
In a more local language. Right.
yes, so you can read the Indonesian one. So mashallah, like even though it's not directly like but mashallah, to me, like, it's very important to me that some things, foundational things, basic things are clear cut, and
Right.
I stick to, mashallah, like I stick to closely to you,
Alhamdulillah.
to you,
The
mashallah. And
words from the horse's mouth, right?
what's that?
From the words from the horse's mouth, right?
Yes. And I stick to, I promote, mashallah, because I have people coming to me because, well, in 2000, I think I officially stopped. I officially went out of the Gentle Birthing Group Malaysia maybe 2013 or 2014 before I left. I left Malaysia for a while. So
Right. You went to Yemen.
yes, I went to Yemen. So I could not do any more advocacy work at that time. So, but until that time, I had a lot of people still coming to me, telling me, asking me like what books to read, what classes to attend.
Right.
So so because I was with, I mean, like I would say, okay, in Malaysia you have Amani Birth, you have hypnobirthing. Actually, we have more than that. We have sisters doing independent classes on their
Right.
own. The only thing that we don't have, I don't believe we have. Do you pronounce it as Lamaze?
Yeah, Lamaze is the founding father of childbirth education. The very first organization, the oldest one.
Lamaze, all right.
Yeah, so that's old. There's Lamaze, there's Bradley, there's hypnobirthing. Of course, there's Amani Birth, and there are even others out there that are newer as well. There's a lot of great things out there. You know, none of them have the tie back to Dean as Amani does, but they're all great programs and very similar in the sense that birth is birth. You know, we're all teaching a concept of birth, and it's a very normal function of the female body, unless there's a complication. And I find it interesting because you brought up the issue in Malaysia, and of course I see it as a number one media issue, and number two a select number of medical providers who decided to go on a rampage and attack Amani Birth. And so since you brought it up, I just want to say it's interesting because the issue in Malaysia is there's a lot of unassisted home births, and a lot of people want to pin that on Amani Birth. It's interesting because we don't teach unassisted birthing, and unassisted birthing was on the rise in Malaysia long before Amani Birth was even thought about. So Amani didn't bring unassisted birthing to Malaysia, and it's not what we navigate. So like you said, read the material, take the classes. It's not what we're teaching, and I find it interesting because the only place that there's an issue is in Malaysia. This is a Malaysian issue. It's not a Amani issue.
I understand.
We're in 26 countries. This issue is only in Malaysia. And like you said, it's not an Amani issue, but somehow, hypnobirthing didn't get pinned and tagged with this. And, your other teachers didn't get pinned and tagged with this, but Amani Birth did. And, alhamdulillah, Allahu alam why. But it's funny because, there are some doctors that have been vicious, and there's been, lawsuits, and they've lost the lawsuits because of slander and libel against people. So it is a big deal in Malaysia, subhanAllah. And may Allah rectify all things. But, knowing what I know, because I have a global perspective, I wish that the Malaysian, the powers that be in Malaysia would take a look at, why does Malaysia have an issue? Why are people opting out of the system in Malaysia? It's not because of Amani Birth. It's something in the system that people are opting out, And interestingly enough, we have a very opposite thing happening here in Saudi Arabia. We have obstetrician after obstetrician after obstetrician who are becoming Amani teachers. So, and left and right, the obstetricians are coming and joining us because they recognize that there is a much more holistic way to approach things. We don't need to be ready to step in if there's an emergency, but we don't need to be stepping in when there's not an emergency, and that's the problem. It's knowing when to let things go and knowing when we should step in, and having informed parents is a big part of that, so that they can make decisions together with the care providers. I also wanted to mention, you mentioned Eddie from the Dean Show.
Yes.
Did you see he had a recent show where he talked to a midwife from Chicago? He's in Chicago. He talked to a midwife from Chicago about home birth. It was on December 18th. I got so excited, and I wanted to reach him, but he's got like millions of followers. So I mailed him. Okay, we have this new book. You have probably seen it. It's called Guide for Fathers. It's
I
very
love that.
It's very short. It's like you can read it in a day or two. It's got lots of pictures in there. And like, the Amani Birth reading book has, 30 chapters, right?
Yeah.
So this has like about 30 pages, right? So mom reads chapter 1 and dad reads page 1.
Yes.
I love this book. I love it, love it, love it. So I sent it as a gift to Eddie, and I hope that he got it, and I hope that he'll look at it. And I had a little description, and I told him, I love that you did a segment on normal birth and home birth. I would love to talk to you about why birth is important for the Muslim woman. I would love to be able to chat with him about that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you mentioned him, Mashallah. It's funny that you mentioned him. I just sent it to him like 2 weeks ago. So I'm hoping that he got it and he'll read it.
Do you have that on Amazon?
I do have it on Amazon. Yeah.
All right.
I love this book. Absolutely love it. So
yes.
Yeah, I haven't. It's on Amazon. It's also on Amani Birth website, amanibirth.com on the products page. It can be ordered there either from Amazon or it can be even read online as a flip book. So
all right.
There's a flip book as well. So I know you're doing a book club for Amani Birth. I would love to come and visit one of these days when you're ready. If you invite me,
sure.
I'd love
yes.
to and mingle with your group. That would be really fun, inshallah. I think you make a good point. It's like, you have to actually read the material before you can judge what it's about. And there's nothing in the material that's would be offensive. It's really about common sense, and it's really about taking charge of your own health, and making informed decisions and being prepared and knowing what you want for yourself. So there's no one right way to give birth. At the end of the day, everybody has their journey, and may Allah make it easy for each one, and may Allah bless each one with ease, subhanAllah. Alhamdulillah. Well, I would definitely say that you've made a huge impact on your community through your involvement with Amani Birth, and I think that at the end of the day, that for every mother who has read the truth, and for every mother that has found a closeness with Allah through her birthing journey, regardless of whether that birth was all natural or whether that birth had lots of intervention, you can have a beautiful cesarean birth,
True.
And birth is going to bring you close to Allah no matter how you do it. And may Allah give you that reward on, as a Sadaqa Jariyah on the day of judgment, subhanAllah, for your efforts to bring women closer to their deen through their births, subhanAllah.
Ameen, inshallah.
Ameen. So would you agree that Amani Birth is a life-changing journey for you?
In one word, yes.
Would you do it again? Would you do it again?
I think I have to repeat it until I die.
MashaAllah.
Because recently when I had, I think for the support group, I had met them twice. For the third session for the Amani Birth book support group, so there was a mother who became who conceived after 6 years. So she was sharing with me a lot of terms that I did not remember them. So I was like, I said, I'm sorry, but I've not been in the field for some time, so I'm not familiar with these terms. So I was thinking about it. I said, I said I have to resit the training.
I would love to have you resit. You should come. The next one's probably going to start in March, so you should come and join us. And it's online now, so you don't have to travel. I don't have to travel. Thanks to COVID-19, we went online in March of 2020, and I didn't want to do it. Amir Najwa, I did not want to do it. I've always done the trainings face to face, and I've traveled the globe to do that.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to do it from my own living room, And I'm finding that the transfer of knowledge is happening, and they're getting really good. I'm getting really good feedback from the trainees. And I think it might even be better because when I do it face to face, it's so cramped. It's 3 days of intensity.
Yeah.
And when we do it online, we do it over 7 weeks. So we do each week for 7 weeks. Usually we finish in 6 weeks, but I always say 7 just to give myself some cushion. But we do like 5-hour sessions with breaks once a week for 6 or 7 weeks, and so they get a little bit more time actually. And then there's homework to do. And then all the sessions are recorded so that they can go back and review if they need to. So I'm
Wow.
really finding that it's actually working out really beautifully. And, my daughter asked me, she was visiting me last week, said,
Mhm.
so when travel opens up, Mom, are you going to go back to traveling? And I said, I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I really don't know, because I'm really thinking that this is working well. And the beautiful thing is we have groups that are so diverse. Like we've got a group right now. We've got someone from Egypt and someone from Saudi and someone from the UK. And we have
Wow.
someone, a couple of them are from America, and they're all mixed together. And
Uh-huh.
it's just so beautiful, subhanAllah. We've had a few in Malaysia that have taken it recently as well.
Really?
You have a few new ones in your midst, yeah. So
Oh.
alhamdulillah. So may Allah bless each one of them, and provide the best
Ameen.
for everyone, subhanallah. And
Mhm.
all we want is for parents to know their options, and to be able to have intelligent conversations with their care providers, make decisions, and take control of their own health, at the end of the
Yes.
day,
Yes.
subhanallah. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Um, I actually forgot my question.
Oh, you had a question?
Yes, I forgot. Oh yes, yes. Oh yes. Because you mentioned Egypt just now.
Yes.
Yes, because I wish I could fly over to Egypt and
Oh, mashallah.
because
I haven't been there in so long. Yeah.
yeah, because because of my husband, so I'm more and I have four sisters in law through my
Right.
husband, so they're all
Mashallah.
in, yes, mashallah, and they're all in Egypt
Right.
and
Cairo, right? Cairo?
Cairo, yes, Cairo, Cairo, Shubra, I think. And
Okay.
then so because I feel like because I'm not I don't know the birth culture there
Well, the birth culture
by
needs a lot of work
experience.
there. The birth culture needs a lot of work there. We've done a lot of work there, but it's a huge
Mhm.
country.
Yes,
Birth,
I agree.
birth is
Mhm.
very medicalized. The C-section rates are way too high. They are
Um,
still in some places putting women to sleep even for vaginal birth. They put them to sleep for second stage labor in some places.
they still
They
do that, Aisha?
Yeah, they do in some places. There's still a lot of
Mhm.
fundal pressure going on where they're jumping on their tummy to push the baby out. Matter of fact, I
Yeah.
had one neonatologist who took our workshop in Egypt, and she was actually a resident. She was studying to be a midwife and be an obstetrician when she had
Mhm.
her first baby. And they put her to
Mhm.
sleep, and they jumped on her belly, and they actually broke her back or broke her ribs. Can't remember. They broke her
Oh,
ribs. They broke her
Allah,
ribs during her labor,
Allah. Inna
and she was
lillahi.
so traumatized that she left her husband and went to live with her mother. And
Allah,
she didn't
Allah.
want any chances of getting pregnant. I think it took her like 4 years to finally decide to, I could be wrong on that number, but it took her a long time to decide to have another baby. And
Oh,
she went back to the medical field. She said, I can't be in the labor room. And so she switched her specialty from obstetrics to neonatology. That's how traumatized she was.
oh,
And yeah,
wow.
and so
Mashallah.
when we were doing the workshop, she was just, beside herself, and she was just like, why are they doing this? It doesn't have to be this way. And I'm like, I know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't have to be that way. Is there a time
Mhm.
and a place for that? Yes, but it certainly isn't the routine. And when it
Yeah,
becomes the routine is when it becomes the problem.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
subhanallah,
So
birth.
I might just leave Malaysia
Are you
and
going to
go
move
to
to,
Egypt.
you're
No.
going to move to Egypt? I lived there for 4 years. I loved Egypt. I loved it very much. The
Yeah.
infrastructure is a little bit different than when I was there. Things have changed a lot, with the changing of power and things.
Mhm.
But Egypt is very much, another home for me. It's where I had one of my babies, alhamdulillah.
Oh.
And it's where I
So,
started birth work, actually. Egypt is what inspired me to start birth work, because I realized that
uh,
the women there had no choice, no opportunity for knowledge about childbirth. There was no childbirth education present at all. So that's what inspired me to actually start Amani Birth.
yeah,
Was where
that's very interesting because my late father-in-law was a general practitioner, but and uh, and he received he helped to deliver a lot of babies, and it's interesting how he because to me from Malaysia, listening about him receiving babies and how gentle and how
mashallah.
what's the word that you used, how intrusive.
Non-interventive.
Yes,
No?
how interventive he was. I felt like, mashallah, he passed away. But then one of the things that went through my mind when I mashallah, I love him, inshallah. But then the thing is, one of the things that went through my mind, like, oh no, he passed away, like he can't help me.
Yeah.
So, but because
may Allah have mercy on him.
I mean, because there is a lot of, actually, like you said, like, for all the negative attention that Amani gets, Amani Birth gets in Malaysia, actually we have a lot of doctors who took the Amani Birth course.
Right, we do have a lot of Malaysian doctors. That's true. There's a lot of Malaysian doctors in the Amani family in Malaysia, and not only that, you do have doctors that are practicing in such beautiful ways. There, I mean, I know you've got some wonderful doctors there, you know, and you know, it's just a matter of, you know, one person at a time. Eventually seeing the wisdom. In fact, there is a quote by the World Health Organization, and it says, "Normal birth, so long it is as low risk, only needs close observation." I'm trying to memorize the quote. Normal birth, so long it is low risk, only needs close observation by a trained and skilled care provider. It needs no intervention except tender, loving care. And that's really the truth, you know. And you know, when intervention comes, we need to be ready. Yeah, I mean, when complications come, we need to be ready. But you have to understand, all we ever hear about is complications. But complications are really the rarity. And the more prepared the mother is, the less likely a complication is going to come up. You know, and the less interventive the doctor is, the less likely a complication is going to come up. So if we can, you know, be patient, that's the key. We can be patient and let birth take its journey. Most births will go fine. And then we just need to be there. That, you know, those of us who are trained, not Amani Birth, I don't mean, but those of us in the medical world, you know, midwives and doctors, you know, we just need to be observant and ready to act if there's a complication. So, but most of the time there's not, you know, and as long as we're ready for them when they come up, alhamdulillah, you know, subhanallah. Well, thank you so much. May Allah bless you and your family. And I have not met your husband from Egypt. So I've seen him on WhatsApp chat here and there, and you know, may Allah bless him, because I know that he's supporting, you know, your presence with Amani Birth, and we appreciate that. And you know, going back to this, you know, we have this because we appreciate the father's role, you know.
True.
And it's, you know, we know that you cannot really wholeheartedly go through your birth in the way that you need to if you don't have the dad's involvement. You know,
true.
So
do you have that in Arabic, Aisha? Do you have the?
Not yet. It's
Arabic?
being translated. My translator got busy translating something else, so she did like the first couple pages, and then she's like, "Get back to it," because I have her working on the online Amani Birth translation project right now. But it will be soon. It will be soon, inshallah.
Okay, sure.
So. All right, love. Thank you so much. You have a great day. It's nice and early for you. You can have your coffee now.
All right. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.